Mama YouTube? Papa YouTube? I have a confession to make. I love Fire Emblem.
Honey, no!
I know, right?
For as much as the anime weeaboo I am, I really love this turn-based strategy waifu simulator. Although I try to play other genres, as you can tell, I absolutely love strategy games. And that's where I come to Nintendo, in which they've been hitting home runs this year. From Ononaki, My Friend Pedro, Astral Chain, and yes, Pokemon. Ha! I'm fucking with ya! Fuckers don't even have my goddamn Blaziken! Astral Chain is one of the games I haven't got my hands on, but I do want to play, being developed by Platinum Games. Same suckers responsible for this. And this. And this. But Fire Emblem? Oof, takes the cake for me for 2019. I wasn't always a Fire Emblem fan though. I first heard about it when I started to play Ike in Smash. And by started to play, I meant starting my campaign to fuck up everyone's career. And around that time, I decided to play every game where every character was from. Boy, was that a mistake. So I borrowed Radiant Dawn from my friend and started to learn the ropes. It was good. Wasn't my taste, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. Then fast forward to Awakening, the game that gave me everything I wanted. Waifu titty! All joking aside, this game was amazing, and rightfully deserved all the praise it got. Good story, customizable protagonists, fast support conversations, fun gameplay, mostly great characters, but not all. And best of all, children! Then Fire Emblem Fates was announced, and I was pumped. Then when I got it, I was disappointed. Don't get me wrong, gameplay-wise it's superior to Awakening, but is lacking in the story department. And after pouring
678
hours into Fates, I was starting to lose steam for the series. Then, E3 2018. Then some time has passed, and I stayed away from anything Fire Emblem related, because I wanted to go in the game completely blind. Boy, was that a mistake. Wait, I have to choose? Who the fuck are you people? Why does your hair look like a McDonald's logo? But playing through this game back and forth and back 3 houses is the superior Fire Emblem. Welcome to Fire Emblem Tetris Battle Royale. Fuck you! 0 out of 10. Fuck this game. Thanks for watching. If you didn't saw this coming, who the fuck do you think I am? By the way, I will be talking about spoilers near the end of the video when I talk about story, but right now there's only minor to zero spoilers, and I will announce a spoiler warning before we get into the juicy bits. Got it? Good, let's go. So the game starts with a cutscene of a battle. There's a guy. There's a pissed off lady. I guess that means they hate each other? Yep, they hate their guts. Boy, I can't wait to join this fight. And it's done.
He's gone now, Mother.
Mother? Who's mother? Okay, bye. Oh my, the lolis are strong with this one. So your adventure starts here, in your subconscious, with a loli staring directly into your soul. This is when you can choose your gender, your name, and your date of birth. Keep this in mind as the game follows the same day and month cycles as we do. Red Wolf Moon? Oh hell yeah! You then get woken up by a man who is disappointed with every life choice you make, and is emotionally absent. But we'll call him Dad. Who says, come on, it's not a Fire Emblem game without bandits. Which is when we meet the people from the box. Edelgard, King George III, and as they ask you for your help to fight bandits because they suck at it. What are they, Fire Emblem protagonists? What? You then fight the bandits and then sacrifice yourself to save the girl, thus ending your adventure. Yes?
Could you not?
Anyway, if you could tell by my sarcasm, you could see that the Lola used the power of the world to save your dumbass, as she reveals herself to be Sothis, also known as
The beginning.
Hey, that's my line, who then turns back time so you won't die. The guys, and girl, from the box say, Tee, you should come to our school. You could be our bodyguard or something like that. It'll be fun. What the fuck? That's when you head up to Garrick Mog Monastery. Basically, Hogwarts with a military. And the principal asks, hey, how far are you in your associate's degree in keeping kids alive? What the hell is an associate's degree? Great, you start in 10 seconds. And then you start your life as a teacher, where you can learn what the students are, either human, beast, or dragon. Sadly, they're only human. Who they are, and what class they're from. from. You are then asked to teach one of the 3 classes. The Black Eagles, led by Waishini, the Blue Lions, led by Pubescent Emoteen, and the Golden Deer, led by God! And your story is split into 3 different timelines. Kind of. First and foremost, weapon triangle, gone. Thank fucking God. If I want to beat down someone with an axe, let me do it without playing rock, paper, scissors with a fucking sword! Sorry. Now that I got that out of the way, let me start with most of the changes in the game. Obviously, you have the stuff that's been in the games before. Variety of classes, support conversations, and a turn-based strategy you all know and love. But I'll get to those later. Other than the turn-based thing. I mean, come on. What do you expect Fire Emblem to be, a dating sim? Oh wait, one of the biggest changes of the game is your base of operation, or Garrick Mach Monastery, in which you can run around the place like a fucking madman.
I have something to ask you.
Nope.
Nani the fuck? Anyway, Mr. Naruto over here can run around the monastery and partake in many activities, such as talking with students, arena battles, gardening, cooking with your students, have a meal with your students, having tea with your students. Don't worry, it's not creepy at all. Join a choir, learn skills from other faculty members, and by the beginning of every week, you hold classes to build your students. Now I know what you're thinking. And yes, there's some similarities between Three Houses and Persona, like being built around a calendar, building relationships, and attending classes. Only this time you get to yell at the students. Alright class, the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test. Caspar, shut the fuck up!
But...
Detention!
Damn it.
And some people might get turned off when they see all the extra stuff they have to do on top of battle. And to that I have to say, you can skip it, dumbass! And although it is a little like Persona, I'm glad Intelligent System took the risk and brought new life to the game. Because if they used the same worn out formula from the previous games, I would have returned it by now. Weapon durability is back and I fucking hate it. Yeah, get mad, Breath of the Wild fanboys! But while the sucky durability part is back, you can still use the weapons after they break, which will have reduced attack and accuracy until you get a repair using materials you find in game. Magic is the only weapon or spell you don't repair, and it doesn't take any space in your inventory. However, you only get a certain amount every battle. Combat arts make a return, but instead of taking away health points like in Echoes, it takes away weapon durability. There are some that don't take anything, such as movement arts like Shove and Healing Force, which is nice to have if your healer dies mid-battle. God fucking damn it, Linhardt. There are a few changes to the weapon types. Obviously, you have the 3 main weapons, 2 types of magic, and bows, but dragon and beast types are gone. Other than the one dragon, and that's but the new weapon type, and my favorite, is Brawl, which are gauntlets, or hands, that can attack twice and can absolutely fuck someone up. So someone like Annette, sweet, adorable Annette, can fuck up the Death Knight with her cold, bloody hands.
俺はあらゆる格闘技を身につけ、何?
You know what? Let's take it one step further. I got Bernadetta, Lysynthia, and Flame to end that man's whole career.
You're irrelevant.
Oh shit. There goes the planet.
United to... No!
And I have a special treat for Claude. Fear the deer, more like fear the German eagle with a flying fist. There's also battalions, which are a bunch of people who follow you around like a bunch of dumbasses. And when you want to use them, you can tell them to charge, or heal, or run off like fucking cowards. The The Master Rank class system is one of the things I like about Three Houses. You have 5 different seals for 4 types of class ranks: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and master. The only difference compared to the last few games is that you have to take an exam, and that exam has a chance to excel in those classes. You can take the exam before having a high enough weapon or class rank to proceed with those classes, but it will decrease the chance of success. But since there is no limit to learning weapon types, there is no limit to advance in any class. I should know. I'm the one who put Caspar up against a wolf with his bare hands and reenacted that scene from Thor Ragnarok. There are a few restrictions though. While every class can use the 3 main weapon types and bows, mounted or flying units can't use brawl, while fist fighting class and armor units can't use reason or faith. And good, cause can you imagine a heavy ass guy also being a healer? Actually, that sounds pretty cool. There are also unique classes. Everyone starts out in one, either noble or commoner, but few units have other unique classes, such as the and the and the and I know you are definitely asking, but wait, where's my Olivia and Azura? I need my sexy female dancer unit! Simple fool. There is no Olivia. What? Why? Because there is no one Olivia. In Three Houses, everyone can be an Olivia. Everyone. No! Yes, there is one unique class I haven't mentioned. The Dancer class. But this time, the class is not restricted to one unit. You can make one person of your choice a dancer. Even dudes. Yes, ladies, you can make your Dimitri a dancer unit. Grrr. The acting is great. And I know a lot of you are going to say that the acting is not the most important part of the game. And while there is some truth to that, I argued that a great game with mediocre voice acting can make a game more of a hassle to play through. Do you want Kingdom Hearts 3? Cause this is how you get Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh. That's right, you're from a video game.
Ah well, at least I got some sweet James Wood action.
Don't forget, I can always turn up the heat!
But while Kingdom Hearts had meh acting, the Fire Emblem cast brought all the cards to the table. Each character has a distinct tone and attitude, and you could tell what their personality is like when you start to hear them speak. Here, just listen.
Phooey! That child's just saved your life.
Yeah! I'm back!
Who put this stupid barrel here?
Schemes? Me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Great sense of humor, this one.
Useless, worthless, unmarriageable. Oh, Ingrid, I accept your offer. I've heard that you panic when there aren't women around to flirt with, that you've gone as far as flirting with horses and even chickens.
Why don't we do what our ancestors did and have a little duel ourselves?
If you don't wish to be heard talking to yourself, then you should not speak so loudly.
When she saw my shock, she said simply, 3-second rule.
Ugh.
Greetings, Professor. Greetings, Professor. Greetings, Professor.
Greetings, Professor.
Nothing to report.
Okay, well, not all of them are great, but you start to get a feel for them as they feel more like people rather than units on a battlefield. Tara Platt, Chris Henneke, and Joe Zija all played their respected house leaders beautifully. I could tell how they differ from one another just by their looks and by listening to how they talk. My favorite out of the 3 is Joe, who plays Claude. He's charming, sarcastic, and is a bit devious. Wasn't enough to get me to join his class. Oh, spicy. But my favorite performance out of everyone is Hubert.
That easy to get under your skin, is it?
Not only is he a maniacal vampire with a dash of a humorous tone, but he's also voiced by Robbie Damon, same sucker responsible for this gym.
You are already drunk.
The cast is so likable that whole communities and memes are created around these guys, especially when one hoe mocks another hoe for saying he's mad because the Black Eagles is the best class. And it's these kinds of likability from these guys that makes you want to unlock all the support logs. Speaking of which, support logs make a return, but with a bit of a twist. Your original, stand next to this person to gain X stat boost, is still in game. But with some characters you only have 2 logs, and with Bailiff you have up to 5! Unlocking them is harder this time around, because you can't pair up units to maximize their support, while also being a fucking wall. You can unlock adjacent space, which basically allows one of your units to be with another unit, but you can't switch places, and you have to have a Professor rank C to start using it. Back to the support logs themselves, like I said, some units only have logs ranging from 2 to 4. One thing you might have noticed is the S rank or the marriage rank is only accessible with Bailiff. This is because A, children units are no longer a thing, which is good because as much as I like the idea of kids coming from a doomed future in a Terminator-like way in Awakening, no, not that one, it got repetitive in Fates. Like the game is saying, hey, pocket dimensions, makes your newborn into an adult. It's a thing. And B, you can only reach S rank at the end of the game. Which to me, this is a plus, because placing it to the end means I can focus on story and gameplay rather than trying to make two people fuck in the middle of the school year. Caspar!
What?
Do I need to call your parents?
No.
Now that's not to say that pairing is absent. If you finish the game with one unit's bond is strong with another unit, and that same unit also has a strong bond in return, they are paired or married to each other. However, some conversations you have to wait for a certain moment in time to unlock, while other times if you pass you will miss your opportunity to bond. As for the bonds themselves, the writing for them is pretty clever. Some range from charming and humorous,
You have Uno!
to others being downright dark, serious, and sometimes sensitive. Until Nintendo releases a patch, god fucking damn it Nintendo! And getting every law conversation can feel like a hassle at some point in time, but the payoff is nice, with most of them leaving you liking someone you probably didn't like before, or exposing some dark corners of the game. But we all know the best part about the support logs. I will be going on a small rant in a few short seconds, but before then I will say this. The same-sex options are better than Fates, which is a nice direction the intelligence system is taking, because if we want pretty gay boys, we deserve very pretty gay boys. However, with that being said, the male options suck. And not the good kind of suck. It's the bad kind of suck. There's only 3, and the options are Gilbert, fucking Gilbert, the oldest human in game, and mind you, Annette's dad, Alois, which is not as bad as Gilbert if it wasn't for the fact that A, he's almost as old as your dad, and B, he has a wife and daughter, and Linhart, the most boring, underdeveloped, and sometimes useless student of the Black Eagles house. And that's saying something. I honestly thought Claude would have been a gay option. He's incredibly flirty, very charming, very easygoing, and can definitely pull off a drag queen look. Maybe if he was, I would have chosen the Golden Deer class. Also, just look at this. Look at this! Ah well, at least the female options are better. Oh, for fuck's sake!
What? What?
Okay, I have a lot of jokes planned for this. Alright, ready? Ready? Here we go. I guess he's the knight in the streets. And the reaper in the sheets. Okay, I got another one. Is that a scythe to your pants, or you just happen to see me? Okay, here's another one. Here, ready?
Death comes.
Okay, one last one, I promise. Why did the bailiff cross the street? So he could get his virginity murdered. Okay, enough of the jokes. Back to the video. Ah well, at least the female options are better. The lesbian options are Edelgard, Dorothea, Mercedes, 2014 Mercedes AMG, everybody. Rhea. Okay, weird choice, but whatever. And Sothis. Wait, what? FBI, open up! But I haven't talked about the best part of the game. Now, I will be going over massive spoilers of the game, so I am now giving out a spoiler warning. Not just for the Black Eagles house, but all 4 routes. That's right, I said 4. But first, a backstory. Sothis, the lily in your head, is the goddess of the world. When she created Fodlan, she made the Nabateans from her blood, her children. While the exact number of the population is unknown, we do at least know 5 of them. Saint Indek and Saint Marcel, also known as the Immovable and the Windcaller, Saint Kihol, who we know as Sedith, and Saint Syros, who we know as Rhea. At some point of time, Sedith married an unnamed woman and became the father of Flame, also known as Saint Sithleen. The 5 saints are also known to bear crests, which I'll get to in a moment. Over time, the Nabateans worked with the humans and made Agathra, where the humans and Nabateans shared their knowledge and skills, only for the humans to turn on the Nabateans later. One day, Sothis gifted Nemesis with the Sword of the Creator and fought against Agatha and was named the Cain of Liberation. But his power corrupted him, and he eventually killed Sothis, with him going to war against the remaining Nabateans and the 10 elites, only to be slain by Syros herself. Vowing for this to never happen again, she built the Church of Syros to get all the young hipsters into this new and cool religion devoted to Sothis and... Okay, this is getting out of hand. Basically, church built and almost 1,000 years passed. Back to the present day. After a couple months of teaching, you notice that there's some things that are not right. Over time, you learn that there are forces who worship the same goddess as Garrick Mach, but oppose its teachings. You also learn about the Sword of the Creator, who the identity of the goddess is, and a mysterious figure known as the Flame Emperor is planning to take down Garrick Mach. After adding 20,000 3,000 pounds of coffee, minus 1 dad, and become God, you then go to the Holy Tomb, where you are then confronted by the Flame Emperor. Now, usually in a Fire Emblem game, this is where you learn that the Flame Emperor is just another baddie who wants to kill humanity or become God. In this game, however, that trope is turned completely on its head. As it turns out, the Flame Emperor is one of the students, and that student is Edelgard. From there, your story will be split into one of 4 timelines. The Blue Lions and the Golden Deers will go their own ways. However, if you choose the Black Eagles, there are one of 2 paths. If you choose to defend the church and follow Rhea's orders, you will then play through the Church of Seros path, where you don't end up on any side of the 3 major houses. However, if you explore the monastery during the Pegasus Moon and find Edelgard, she will ask you to do a favor for her, in which you are given the most dire choice. Now, most of the time when you choose a certain dialogue, it's not in a way that Mass Effect or the Telltale games would play out, with most of them having no changes to the story, and it's only there just to find the right response that someone will like. But in this moment, out of nowhere, the game pulls a fucking curveball. Oh, fuck! But if you choose to go with Edelgard, she will ascend to the throne, then you will get one last choice to decide with Rhea, or to betray her and side with Edelgard. This will now activate the full Black Eagles route. You then defend the church or attack it, in which then Rhea will... Holy shit! Dragon! Dragon! Motherfucking dragon! As one way or another, you fall off a cliff, either making you unconscious, dead, or both. But that doesn't matter, as you wake up at the bottom of the lake to the sound of a soothing melody. Wake me up! Wake me up, pizza! Nah, I'm fucking with you, it's just Sothis. As she attempts to wake you up, the game pulls an endgame, where you find yourself waking up in 5 years with Fodlan consumed by war. You then find your students in the now damaged Garrick Mach, as they are now grown up and moved from school life and changed over the years and gone through harsh times of war and you know that scene in A-Game where Peter doesn't know what's going on, but both him and Tony are just happy they're both alive? That's what this is like. I'm sorry, Casper. I just wanted you to be successful in life. By the way, do you have Chapter 12's assignment finished?
I'm sorry, what?
Now, I could go on for ages, talking about the different timelines and going into different character arcs of each timeline, but we'll be here forever. What I do want to talk about is 2 things that the story revolves around. Religion, obviously, and Crest. Now, Crest is one of the things I didn't mention in the mechanics of the game. Crest are basically power incarnates. They were bestowed upon the humans ages ago by the goddess herself. There are 22 crests in-game total. Gameplay-wise, they vary from raising different attack type strength to having more efficient healing effects. Story-wise, they are stored within the flesh and is passed down through bloodlines. Only a couple characters have them and fewer have a major crest. This type of born-based powers is nothing new to Fire Emblem, as games like Holy War has a very similar concept that works its way over to Echoes and Awakening, and Fates has a similar power with Dragon Blood that can alter the battlefield. But the difference between these games is that Three Houses goes all in on having board-based powers a key role in the plot. Crest can determine many factors in someone's life, due to Crest being extremely valuable, from inheriting family wealth, being wed off to rich people, and whether or not you can wield a hero's relic, weapons that have more power than any others. And it's with these 2 subjects that our conflict arise. You see, Rhea and the Church of Seros believes that crests were made to govern Fodlan and the world, and they both use their teachings so that people with crests can be heroes or protectors like Catherine, and keep order to Fodlan. But if you could tell from playing the game and knowing the characters, that's not always the case. In fact, some people are pretty miserable with their crests. Ingrid is constantly being put into positions where she has to marry for money. Sylvain's older brother was discarded by his family for a lack of a crest, making him feel like shit. And Marianne, because her crest is cursed, she didn't even want to live because of it. Oh yeah, it gets dark, look it up. Now I cannot say that everyone suffers from the crest, but it does bring up their overall nature, as there are people who tend to use it for their own deeds. Enter the opposite of Rhea in the church, Edelgard. For those of you who don't know, Edelgard is 1 out of 2 people that has more than 1 crest. This is because when she was a child, her uncle stole her and her siblings, and were experimented on by those who sliver in the dark, also known as the Agathians. Edelgard was the only one out of her siblings and many others to survive, only for her hair to turn white and wakes up bearing a 2nd crest, the Crest of Flames. Scarred from this mentally and physically, she has one goal in mind: to make a future where these kinds of sacrifices never happen again, and that is by getting rid of the value of crests, as she explains in Chapter 5.
It's true that a crest can increase your magical abilities and allow you to wield the full might of a hero's relic. But one cannot measure a leader's worth based solely on whether or not they bear a crest. There are plenty of talented people in this world without one. People believe crests are blessings from the goddess, that they're necessary to maintain order in Fodlan. But the people are wrong. Crests are to blame for this brutal, irrational world we live in. Their power is granted only to a select few, whom we elevate and allow to rule the world. Have you ever wondered if the only way to create a truly free world is to dispense with the goddess and the crests? Do that, and people will have no choice but to rise and fall by their own merits.
Now, some people have different opinions on who's right and who's wrong. However, you gotta admit that no matter what path you play, Edelgard is onto something. Crest, whether intentionally or indirectly, does weave the fates of many across Fodlan, as the past few characters I mentioned have suffered in the past because of it. Hell, some people are suffering from it now. Edelgard only really lost her hair color after the experiments. Like Cynthia, who went through a similar experiment, is losing her fucking life.
You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair. All trace of pigment gone. Seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most. Perhaps less.
And in the end of the game, that's probably what happened. And for all the suffering that comes from something that has been summarized as a gift is kind of ironic, especially since the backstory about the goddess and the crest is a fucking lie. Sothis never created the world. She flew to it. And Nemesis was never chosen by Sothis, but rather a bandit who was deceived by those who sliver in the dark, which resulted in him killing Sothis, using her body to forge the sword of the creator, and her heart to make the crest of flames, after which he led the Tandalites to cause a massacre on the Nabateans, and use their bodies and blood to make hero relics, and to create, what else? The crest. That's right, the so-called gifts known as crests are actually byproducts of a slaughtered race. So, what am I saying? Am I saying that Edelgard is right that all crests are bad and should be deemed as such? No. As much as I argued in favor of Edelgard, I will have to be fair with one thing. Even though there are some crests that can be used for actual good, like ones for healing, I would say there is one crest that is necessary. Yours, the player's, which is the Crest of Flames. While not specifically said in English or Japanese, it is referred to in other languages as the Fire Emblem. And for those of you who, ironically, probably don't know, the Fire Emblem is a series MacGuffin that is strong enough to defeat the main antagonist, and takes on many forms, from a shield to a sword combined with the power of your brother's weapons, to a medallion. But in 3 houses, you are that MacGuffin, which honestly, I think it's fucking brilliant, because it is you who gets to decide what is right and what is wrong. Because as much as I just said why Edelgard is not really wrong when it comes to Crest, she is far from perfect. And so is Rhea. One is willing to make sacrifices so her goals could be fulfilled, while the latter is willing to kill those who step out of line. Same goes for the other two. Dimitri is seen as a bit murderous, and Claude is sometimes considered a coward. And I typically like a form of media where there is no clear-cut villain, instead of having one that sounds like Counselor Vayhek.
Why are these fools still breathing my air? This is unacceptable!
But that is the beauty of this game. By choosing one of these paths, you are willing to help them overcome their flaws and help with their strengths. And I can definitely see why different people choose different classes. I absolutely love Dimitri's character arc. Rhea, at the end of her path, realizes her faults in deceiving the world and trying to bring back her mother, and decides she's not fit to rule any further. And Claude? Well, I'm just gonna say it, I'm so fucking gay for him. But you do get to learn a lot from his path. So much so that I had to rewrite the script, and I would have been done a month ago if I didn't play this route. But the reason I choose Edelgard is because of 1, that Edel booty, and 2, that I firmly believe that someone born with powers or higher status should not be the deciding factor for ruling. That, and also that Edel booty. And that's what essentially boils down to. You, bearing the Fire Emblem, decide who to choose to guide to the right path. Sometimes you aid someone to fight the monsters of the world, while other times they become the monsters themselves. But no one is truly right or wrong. You have different people, born and raised in different situations. Over the past decade, Fire Emblem as a series has been growing bigger and stronger, with maybe a mixed bag in between two games, but finished off strong with Three Houses, probably being my favorite Switch game. And how could it not? It has great characters, most of them, a good story, conversations that could be cute and fun, or disturbingly dark, and a type of gameplay I cannot put down. And I assume others feel the same, as it won the Player's Pick Award at the Game Awards. Even though it should've won Game of the Year, what the fuck is up with you, Jeff? There's so much I could've talked about that I didn't get to, such as music. If you ask anybody that I personally know, they would know I'm a sucker for video game music, like Red Sun, Virgin Truckin', Low Life on the Highway, Song of the Ancients, literally all the Halo themes, We All Live Together, Don't Think Twice, At Doom's Gate, the Sonic Heroes theme, and the Song of the Dragonborn. And the Fire Emblem series is no exception, with Purpose feeling very uplifting in the face of the end of the world, to Twilight of the Gods, feeling like a battle against the gods, and every version of Lots and Thoughts will surely make you cry like a little bitch. The Three Houses soundtrack, though, gives me chills, that's how good it is. With my favorite, Battle Between Heaven and Earth, feels like a grand and epic song that gives the Battle of Pelennor Field and Portals a run for its money. And Edge of Dawn, while on top of being really good that makes me cry like a little bitch, also turns out that, whilst doing the research for this video, is sung by the point of view of Edelgard, which makes scenes like this all the more heart-wrenching.
I wanted to walk with you.
Oh, fuck you! Fire Emblem is not only really fun, but it also has a ton of replay value. In fact, the game rewards you for replaying it. Once you beat the game for the first time, you are given the option to start over with New Game Plus, which transfers all your shop ranks, Saint Statue rank, and skill ranks that allow you to use Renown to unlock, which is nice. But the first time I heard about this, I was afraid this would have been another self-aware game. You know, those self-aware games that judges you on your past game decisions and alters the way you play. And while that's fortunately not the case, I think it did miss out on something fun. Not restrict paths, but maybe have Sothis say, "I know you done fucked up, you little shit." And who knows, maybe she does know, because every time you start a new game, she ends your first encounter by saying this.
It all feels so familiar. I think it may be time for yet another nap.
In conclusion, I give this game 10 flamed fish memes out of 10. And I would have put this game in my second best game of 2019, between The Outer Worlds and Devil May Cry 5, if it wasn't for this.
Oh my god!
It's enormous! This is the best game ever made, my god! Fuck you, Outer Worlds! 8 out of 10, best game ever!
I look to you like a red rose, seeking the sun, no matter where it goes. I look to you.
Okay, so my friend just woke me up saying not to go on the internet, not to go on Twitter, and just straight up go on my game. Fuck. So, yeah, here I am. Just getting some recording. I don't know what she had in plan for me. I'm afraid that it might not be anything good, so fuck, whatever. God damn, I have work in 2 hours. Okay, I'm in, so what the fuck am I looking for? Okay, she's saying it's a costume. I mean, I don't know what the big deal is. It's just a skin. It's not gonna affect the gameplay. It's not gonna, you know, make me all more powerful. It's not most of the costumes are fine, but I guess it's just.
Does he look like a bitch? What? Holy shit!
Wait a minute. I hear pissed off fanboys. The bailiff just got invited to
Join Smash Brothers already!
Ya da da da.